decided to share this so none of you have this happen to you. So, as many of you know, and many of you don't know, but anyway, I have sold vintage lingerie for years, and I have had a couple accounts on eBay. A couple of years ago, this is a big mistake. 7, 8 years ago, maybe 9, I'm not sure, maybe less than that. I don't know, but this is one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. So as many of you know, I sold vintage lingerie, and I never did it any other way except through the thrift stores, garage sales. If somebody gave me stuff, however I got it, that's how I would sell my items. I also would look online and see if anybody was selling any vintage stuff, any vintage lingerie and stuff like that. So as I'm doing this, I was not actually on eBay. I was sourcing on, I was like looking all over the internet, typing in vintage lingerie for sale and stuff like this. And I came across Wish. We all know Wish does not sell vintage lingerie. However, I seen this beautiful robe that I knew that even though it wasn't vintage, I could sell it and list it as modern. You know, it's a modern gown. I wasn't going to list it as vintage, but it was a beautiful fur trimmed robe. And I just knew I would get people to be buying it. So I thought, I looked at I looked it up, looked at the price and everything. I seen it was between 7 and I was getting these robes between $7 and $10. So what I did was I noticed these robes, and you'll see they're beautiful, lush robes. They had them in a couple different colors, and I knew I could sell them. So what I did was looked at the shipping and everything, and of course, they're out of the country, so the shipping was going to be in 2 to 3 weeks. What I did was I had made an auction, took snapshots of these pictures, placed an order, and I made sure that in the description that the shipping was going to be, you know, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, because it was coming from out of the country. So I made this listing. I also placed an order for myself, and I did not expect the orders to come in as crazy as they. I was getting a few items at first, and I was getting 5 orders a day, and that's great. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm making all this money. I was selling them. I was buying them from between $7 and $10 each, and I was selling them for $30. Plus, the customer would pay shipping. So I was probably getting 5. I'm going to say average on 4 to 5 orders a day. Every day I was getting these orders in. And I'm getting more excited, thinking, oh my God. And they had so much inventory, you know. I kept having to order more, you know. What I would do is I would just go online, the customer would give me their order, and I would get it shipped to them. Well, one of the customers ended up getting, a few of the customers start getting their order before I got mine. And the first couple of orders, they were good, but then I was getting, the feedbacks were good, and I'm thinking, oh great, this is I'm onto something here. Well, then I start getting messages. Now, at the time, nobody left me a negative feedback. At the time, I had over 1,000 feedback and only one, which was a neutral on it. And it's hard to maintain that sometimes, but anyway, I dealt strictly with thrift store items, and I did the returns and everything like that. I had no problem. I was treating my business like a business until this freaking robe. So anyway, I was getting messages from a couple of the customers. Well, the first customer, I got this message it was funny, but I'm like, oh no, what did I do? She said, I got this robe. It looks nothing like the picture. It looks like a cat got a hold of it. And I knew, right? I knew when I got these robes, they were not going to be what I had ordered. Then I start to get more people telling me that they were not happy, they wanted a return, and this and that. I gave them their money back, of course, because I ended up getting the shipment, and this is what I got. You could see the big difference between the robe in the picture than the robe that the customers were actually getting. I should have waited before I placed that order, assuming that it was going to look as nice as it did in the picture. And then when I see what it looked like in person, I was actually embarrassed. I messaged so many of those people, even the ones that they didn't have a problem with it. And I apologized. I said, I am so sorry. I admitted what, I said I didn't see it. You had got your order before I did. I would have never sold it looking like this. Anyway, I did sell the leftovers, but I did not I listed them as they look like, which was not the pictures that were shown. So I wanted to share that with you so you don't assume that. Please, if you're going to ship and sell inventory, have it on hand or know the company that you're dealing with, because I had no clue. I never dealt with them before. I don't deal with any of those out of the country with buying stuff like that. When I'm selling lingerie, it is good quality lingerie, but I knew that women would like to buy this item, and I knew I would get the orders on it. Not to say that I still wouldn't get orders on them now if I was selling them, but I was so disappointed because, oh, please, whatever you do, make sure you know what you're selling. Don't list the item unless you have it in hand. Don't go by the picture unless it's something that is branded and it's a well-known brand. Hopefully that helps some of you out, but yeah, I shouldn't have done it. And believe me, I have learned my lesson. Haven't done it since. I do not list anything unless I have it in my hand, and I strictly am thrift stores right now. Thrift stores and doing it that way. So I know I'm keeping I know what I know what I'm selling. Hopefully this will help somebody out and that you don't make the same mistake I did, because it can literally take your account down. I'm going to leave you with that. Please, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.